go. All right, we are live. Welcome. Come on in. Join the chat. I love what I'm seeing already. Let me know your name. Let me know your location. And tell me how's the weather where you are. I'm usually in Springfield, Illinois, but I've been in Texas for about a month. So there's sunshine and warmth, which is a huge relief from Midwest springtime. So far we have Alyssa Parsimples. Hey. Tana Padilla, welcome. DS Consultant, hey DS Conway. Anthony Francis, hey Anthony, welcome. Dimples Music Shoes, what's up? Dimples Music Shoes. Alyssa Parks, she, her pronouns, Minneapolis. Sunny, woo, welcome. Big shout out to Minneapolis. Thank you for joining. Hey Dimples Music Shoes. Hey, Anthony, how y'all doing? Where you watching from, Anthony? What's up to my folks on Facebook? If you're just joining, let me know your name, your location, what the weather is like where you are. So this is going to be a really special live stream for me because it's my birthday week. My birthday is on Saturday. So I'm going to make this topic celebrating yourself. And given the current state of our country and of our world and all that's going on, I've been thinking a lot about self-care, turning off the news cycles every now and then to rest and also appreciate Black life. So that means celebrating your birthday sometimes. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If your birthday's already passed, happy belated birthday. Or happy early birthday if your birthday is yet to come. We have Miss Shona, Queens, New York. What's up? Hey, Queens. Highly favored. What's up, highly favored? Then we got San Antonio, Texas. That's where Anthony is from. Hey, another Texan in the house. Truthful Optimists. Thank you for joining. DS, yo, my sound was off. We are all ears, sis. Woohoo! Thank you. And happy birthday. Thank you. I'm excited about it. So it's on Saturday officially, but since it's the only live stream before then, I want to make that what it is today. How are y'all feeling? Everybody hanging in there? Are y'all getting sleep? Are you staying hydrated? Says happy born day, sis. Thank you, Mark. What's up? Thank you for watching. So I do these every week. Before we get started, again, the topic is going to be celebrating yourself, especially if you are a Black person in the United States right now, Black people around the world, other people of color. It's important that we actually thrive and not just survive. So I'm going to focus a little bit on some thriving today. But some big announcements. First of all, I do this every week. So if this is your first time tuning in and you like what you see, come back next week and the week after that. Next week is going to be really special because my sister is going to be joining me. She's going to be co-hosting. And we're going to be talking about allyship. Yes, she's several shades lighter than me. And so she, in the struggle against colorism, she identifies herself as an ally. And I posted a calendar of future topics to come. So those topics will include racism versus colorism, right? A lot of people still get those things confused. We will also be talking about gender and colorism and how it affects women and men differently. So check my pages for the list of topics through July. And of course, I welcome questions live. I love answering your questions live. So that includes today, if you have questions that come up. Of course, all my live streams are interactive, so I have questions for you and homework and affirmations for you as well. And then if you want to send questions in advance, if there's a topic that you're super interested in, you can DM me your question, and I'll make sure to touch on that during the live for that week. I also go live on TikTok. Anybody on TikTok besides me? I love TikTok. I know it's still new and people think it's for teenagers, but I do a live TikTok talk on Tuesdays at 2. And then if you're not following me on other pages, I have a podcast, I have the website, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube, you name it, right? But the big announcement that I want to touch on is that the live book launch is this coming this month on June 26th at noon. So I host an international writing contest, and the people who are participating in that, I publish them in a book. So we're putting the manuscript together, editing it, finishing off the cover design. Ashley Adams did a really nice painting that we have featured on the cover. And so you'll see these multicolored people on YouTube live discussing colorism, discussing why they wanted to write about it, why they participated in the contest. And there will be live Q&A, and there will be live giveaways. So if you tune in live and answer some questions, you might get your name pulled to win a free book, win a free t-shirt, win some laptop stickers and that kind of thing. So make sure you spread the word about that, because I want it to be the biggest book launch we've had so far. This will be the third book launch that I'm doing. So I want to have as many live attendees as possible. So even if you can't attend, make sure you help spread the word. Welcome on Facebook, Jandel and Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie Jackson, how are you? So I'm just finishing up announcements, and we're going to jump right into this topic. If you do come in, always say hello. Anthony says he's from Houston. Where are you from? I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I have a lot of fam in Houston. Happy Born Day. It is a struggle. Tired but determined. Absolutely. So thank you for the Born Day wishes. I feel you with the struggle. It is draining and exhausting, right, to be here again. But at the same time, I have been encouraged that, to me, it feels like more people than ever before are speaking up and taking to the streets, right? So we've had this happen over and over again, but there are people who usually don't take quite an overt stance that are now taking a stance, right? People that you wouldn't have maybe seen protest, or maybe people that you would not have seen in the past put out a statement, right? Companies and individuals and celebrities that usually kind of fall back, I think are compelled this time around to put themselves out there and show support for the struggle. So that is one silver lining, right? And then my sister was telling me today that they've made some additional charges, right? So what you're doing is working, everyone. And so take heart, take courage, right? That the struggle is not in vain, right? We are starting to see tangible actions in response to the outcry, right? And so that's all things that can help us deal with the fact that it is exhausting, right? Is that at least something happened. Additional arrests were made, and charges were increased for the primary suspect. Yay, I digress. Welcome, thank you for joining. Ralph Berry, hey, and Wavy World, what's up? So that y'all my people. Stephanie says, hey, Jay. Yeah, and y'all can talk to each other in the chat too, right? With it being my 35th birthday on Saturday, I wanted to kind of do like a year in review, right? And so I'm going to be asking you, so start thinking about now, like some things that have happened to you, that you have done, that you have learned in the past 12 months that you can celebrate yourself for, right? So I really want to focus on looking back and saying, okay, I'm still in the struggle, but I have to celebrate the small wins I've made along the way, right? I'm still on my journey, but I have to celebrate my progress and my milestones that I've made along the way, right? And for those of you who follow me for a while, you know that I don't just talk about colorism, but I talk about healing as well, right? And so healing is a process. Healing is a struggle. Healing is a journey, right? Hey, Lorena, what's up? Thank you for joining. So in addition to, the external social justice work, we have to celebrate our milestones, look back at where we have made progress, but also for ourselves as individuals on our individual paths of healing and self-love and deconditioning ourselves of the biases, right? Looking at, the colonizer within ourselves, right? And sort of the struggle to get rid of that, right? It's the struggle to decolonize our own spirits and our own minds, right? All of that is an ongoing process. But anniversaries of any kind are a great time to do that. And that anniversary could be once a week. It could be a weekly anniversary. It could be a monthly, yearly anniversary, whatever it is for you, right? And it doesn't have to be a birthday necessarily, but it could just be the start of the summer, right? So maybe your kids are done with school and you just as a family want to reflect on what the school year has been like, right? Because we've also been in the middle of a medical health pandemic, right? And so there's a lot to focus on. And so for me with Colorism Healing, and then this is really good for my new followers, any new people who haven't been with me as long, for you to see some of the work that I've been doing and then some of the plans I have for the future. So again, I want to know what you all are celebrating from the past 12 months, or something that you're proud of yourself for doing, or starting, or trying, or attempting, or learning, okay? Leave a note in the comments. Let me know in the comments one thing for you in the past 12 months. For me, last summer, I submitted a grant to the National Endowment for the Humanities to do another art exhibit, a traveling art exhibit on colorism, right? So way back in February of 2019, I hosted a one-time art exhibit on colorism. And so I met some amazing artists who were doing visual art and digital art and 3D art, right? And sculpture and conceptual art on the issue of colorism, on the issue of skin bleaching, on the paper bag test, right? And we all came together, and the responses from people who attended were like, man, you know, I'm learning so much more about this topic. I had these experiences growing up, but I never really had a chance to think about it or to, you know, have discussions with other people about it, right? So we haven't heard back from the grant yet. I'm assuming with COVID-19 and all that's going on, that process is going to might take a while. But we're looking forward to hearing them. And if all goes well, if we get accepted, that'll be a new project for us going forward in the next 12 months. Another thing that we started with Colorism Healing was launching product lines. So I started designing t-shirts. My favorite is the t-shirt and that says, I see color and I love it, right? So that's been my motto. I always hated the I don't see color, I'm colorblind mentality, because we all know A, that's false. B, why would you not want to see color? Because color is beautiful. You hear me? So it's not color that's the problem. It's not difference that's the problem. It's our attitudes about the color. It's our attitudes about the difference, right? So the goal is not to do away with variety or diversity or to be colorblind. The goal is to love and appreciate all of that difference, right? So I'm gonna pause because some of our commenters are sharing what they're celebrating from the past 12 months. They say, finishing virtual school online with a kindergartner and a second grader. Yes, so that is a huge milestone. Jandale Crutchfield on Facebook is celebrating the fact that she, with her two children, made it through the school year online, right? Very difficult for many, many families. On Instagram, Jane Afedra says, I've been working on a comic for a contest. It will be my first comic, and it covers anxiety and music performance. It's based on my experience in music performance. Congratulations, Janae Phaedra. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. That matters to me. Or if you prefer a nickname. So congratulations to you on putting yourself out there, on completing the comic book, and having the courage to submit it, having the courage to put it out there, right? A lot of us have gifts and talents that we can use. Stephanie Jackson on Facebook says, coming to an end of our first homeschool year, huge, right? So congrats to you also, Stephanie Jackson. Loga 7799 says, wore that one yesterday. Hey, awesome. So you have one of the I See Color and I Love It t-shirts, and you wore it yesterday. See, I must have known that you would be on here, right? That's what made me think about it. And you say you're celebrating your consistency and perseverance during this time. Absolutely. Kudos to you, Loga 7799, aka Lorena. For your perseverance and your consistency, right? So thumbs up if you too are celebrating your own perseverance and your own consistency, even if it's just your consistency of getting up every day and, you know, maybe brushing your teeth, right? Janae is correct. Thank you. All right, Janae, cool. And then Stef, welcome. Thank you for joining, right? So a couple other things that we accomplished in the year of 34, was that I am working on a book, right? So I published the anthology with the writing contest, but I'm also writing a book, just me, myself, like a typical author would. And I have been asked to submit it to a publisher, right? So there's an academic press, Ohio State, and they're interested in publishing that book when it's done, right? So it still has to go through peer review, of course. But I think that was a milestone for me in getting the first round of feedback on the book, right? I have been writing it, and a couple of people who had read it said it was good, but we all have like self-doubt, and you're like, oh, is it really that good? And then so to send it out to editors and have them say like, yes, this is a good project. This is a project we're really interested in. And this is, a worthwhile project. It was a huge milestone for me, right? And so I'm just trying to stay disciplined and finish up the manuscript so I can submit it by the end of summer. So Janelle says, fantastic. Thank you. Hey, Ashley, welcome. She says, yo, hey, Sarah. Armando Rivera says, launched my masculinity project, Finding EL. Ooh, I like that. You'll have to, is it on Instagram? Is there like a handle that you can put in the comments so people can check that out? So yeah, if any of you have projects that you're proud of and that you want to celebrate, feel free to drop a link or the handle for that page in the comments. I like to celebrate with all of you so that I can check them out for myself, but so that other viewers can also see the good work that you're doing. So that's Mando Rivera 1989 on Instagram. So follow these people as well. And then I worked with a project assistant for the Colorism Healing Writing Contest for the first time. So I had taken a hiatus in 2019 because I just moved to Illinois, started a new job, and it was a lot for me to get accustomed to that new environment and run the contest. So I brought it back in 2020, whoop, whoop. And what I'm so excited about is that this is my first year working with someone else on the project. So in the past, I had been doing it all by myself, and I would hire or pay someone for like the cover art, and I'd pay a copy editor. But the actual contest stuff was all me. And so one of my students, Diana Vasquez, she's watched a couple of the live streams. So I always have to shout her out, right? I asked my students if anyone would be interested in working on the project, and she, stepped up, and she's been a huge help. She's on Instagram. I don't know her handle right off the bat, but she wrote the preface for the upcoming anthology, and she talks a lot about her experiences with colorism, being a Mexican American, and learning through the contest more about herself. Right. So I have been honored to work with her, and she's supposed to be able to attend the live as well. So you'll hear from the authors, you'll hear from Diana, and I'm hoping that the cover artist can come on and talk about her artwork as well. And so then also in the past year, I started these live streams. Whoop, whoop. We started the Wednesday workshops, and that has been like super exciting. It was a recommendation that my sister made when we started going into quarantine. And she was like, yeah, can you do these virtual things for your niece and nephew, these virtual library sessions for your niece and nephew, and maybe you can offer it to other people as well. And I said, absolutely. So here we are all this time later with the live streams. And this is my first time doing something like this, right, over the past couple of months. And I started Colorism Healing in 2013, and I had never been doing regular live streams like I am now. So this is a really big milestone for me. So I'm proud of myself for that. And it is, something that I can look forward to continuing in the next year. So let me see what other celebrations we have. Candace Moten, hello, I'm late to the live. What are we discussing? And then Janelle says, all good. Oh, Candace, talking about what you've accomplished in the last year, celebrating Sarah's B-Day. Yeah, so Candace, we are talking about celebrating yourself, right? And knowing that we have to intentionally take time out to do that, given the trauma that we might all collectively be facing right now, how draining it is to be coping with the current conditions of our country and of our world, right? And so not only is it my birthday coming up, but a lot of other people have been talking about the need for all of us to practice self-care, especially Black people, especially people of color who are most affected by what's going on right now. And so we can't allow the systems and the racism and the hatred and the inequality to kill our spirits, right? They're not just trying to kill us physically, they also want us to die and be dead spiritually and emotionally, right? And so Black joy is Black resistance, right? I always say that the ability to laugh can be subversive, right? Dancing, playing your music really loud. I was driving down the street the other day playing Tupac really loud. And so like your joy, Black joy in particular, is a form of resistance, right? And I think about my ancestors who on slave plantations came together, gathered together and made music, right? Even during a destitute time, they came together and they danced, they ate, and loved on each other, right? Despite the harsh conditions under which they lived. And so I do want to continue that tradition as well. And so I'm asking people to share, since it is my birthday, I'm asking people to share what you're celebrating about yourself, right? So maybe over the past 12 months, anything that you are proud of, that you've accomplished, or anything just about your personality, right? You want to celebrate, your sense of humor. You want to celebrate your boldness and your confidence, right? So this is a collective celebration. I don't plan on doing much on my birthday. So this is kind of like my birthday party. So all of y'all are part of the party. Janae says, woo, she has the little symbols there. And did I miss anything? Says we need more work like that, Armando. Kudos. So Coastal Flower is giving kudos to Armando for doing work on masculinity and saying we need more work like that. And I agree. Amanda Sweet 106 just found your page from Overachiever magazine. So excited to watch this live. Absolutely. I'm not sure if I am following Overachiever magazine. I have to make sure I'm following them. But thank you for coming my way. And I can't wait to talk to you more and chat with you more. So let me know your name. I'm assuming is Amanda. Let me know where your location is, what your experiences are with colorism. I'm always interested. Armando says, gracias, gracias. Yes, inner work is something big to celebrate too. They're an Asian-focused magazine. Okay, that's good to know. So again, you've already tagged them in the comments, right? So thank you for doing that. That's definitely something that we can all check out as well. So I've asked you what you're celebrating. I'm still taking those comments as well. Any initiatives that you're starting for the future is where we're going next, right? So I'm kind of give you a preview of my goals for the next 12 months, right? I'll be 36 next time we come back this way. So I'm curious, in addition to what you're celebrating from the past, what new initiatives are you starting, right? What new ideas, even if you don't have a plan yet, maybe it's an idea that you have sort of been playing around with. I'm very curious to know. So be thinking about that and let me know in the comments. For me, I'm definitely planning, like I said, to finish the book this summer. I ultimately don't have control over whether or not Ohio State University Press publishes it, but from my end, I'm going to completely finish the manuscript, have it, edit it, and make it the best version I can make it, and I'm going to submit it and surrender to the divine working out of whatever is meant to be, and if not them, then maybe another publisher, right? So wish me luck. Jandel says $1 million grant from USDOE to train school social workers and special education teachers to better serve students with disabilities. Okay, so Dr. Jandel Crutchfield, a professor of social work at the University of Texas at Arlington, was awarded a $1 million grant by the U.S. Department of Education to train school social workers and special education teachers to better serve students with disabilities, right? So I'm going to celebrate you on that. huge accomplishments. It's tough to get grants of any size, right? But to get a grant for $1 million, that's a lot of good work that can be done. And knowing you the way I do, I know that that grant funding is in great hands and that the training will be very valuable. Amanda says, yes, I'm in Dallas from Detroit. Well, welcome. I'm in the DFW area right now too, but I live in Illinois. So I'll be here for a few more weeks. Coastal Flower Asian here. Thanks, Amanda, for sharing. Well, see, there you go. That's why I love for y'all to add stuff to the chat, because we're not just, learning and listening to me, but y'all bring so much value every week from week to week. And I get just as much out of it as well. So again, also the NEH grant, we'll be finding out if we got it or not. I'll let y'all know either way, whether they reject us or whether they approve it. I'll let y'all know what the answer is on that. Hopefully we get it approved, and we'll be planning a traveling grant art exhibition on the topic of colorism, right? And I already know several fabulous artists on Instagram and social media who could be great participants in that. And then the last one in terms of planning for the future is the immediate future. So I'm going to ask all of you again to tune in live on June 26th for the book launch of the 2020 Colorism Healing Writing Contest. My big goal to kick off this next 12-month phase of Colorism Healing is to make that live session, that live launch, the best attended launch we've had so far. I want it to be the most exciting launch. I want lots of viewer comments and questions. I want to give away the books and the t-shirts and the laptop stickers to people who attend live. And most importantly, I want there to be a great showing for the authors, right? So many of the writers that are being published are young authors. They're first-time writers. They probably have not been published before. And so it took a lot of courage and vulnerability for them to speak up and write their stories and be willing to submit them and put them out there. So show your support for them. And then also let that be a venue for you to also share your own story and your own experiences, right? So it's always a huge love fest. I have to hold back tears at the end of these live streams because the vibes, the energy is just so positive. I'm just so proud to see the faces of people whose emails I've been reading for the past 6 months, see the faces of people whose work I've been editing, right, and putting into a manuscript, to actually see their faces and hear their voices and talk to them real time is amazing, right? And we're doing it on YouTube. So it'll be different than this, right? So right now, you all can see me, but I can't see your faces necessarily. So on the live stream, the authors will be live talking just like I am, right? So that'll be exciting in case you're tired of hearing me talk. You'll get to hear lots of other people share their stories as well. Stephanie Jackson says, you got this. Absolutely. How exciting for them, Coastal Flower. Yeah, with the grant. Amanda says, married a wonderful Black man over the weekend. Oh, congratulations. You just got married. That's awesome. My mother was brought here from the Philippines through human trafficking. Wow. I want to make sure I'm properly educated to raise Black mixed children. Wow. So your story, right? Your mom's story, that legacy of being brought here under duress, under difficult circumstances, right? And so you have a lot of legacy to be proud of in terms of where you've come as a result of your mother's survival, as a result of your mother's perseverance and resilience. Yeah, that's a lot to celebrate, right? And so we're celebrating the past 12 months, but we also should celebrate our ancestors. We also should continue to celebrate the people who survived so that we could be alive today, right? And I applaud you for wanting to be educated to raise Black mixed children, right? I think that's so important. I've had conversations with mixed race people, students in particular, who've had the opposite experience, where their parents their mother in particular was not interested in their Blackness at all, right? Their mother sort of discouraged them from embracing their Blackness or acknowledging their Blackness, right? So I commend you for that and acknowledging what the reality that your children will be facing, right? And you also being proud that they are half Black, right? And showing them how to be proud of that. So that is exciting. Secret of Shadows, love you, you go girl. Kita, Log, hey, welcome. Kate. Oh, Kate. Y'all, the screen is so small. It says Kate Log. Welcome. So any other future ideas or future plans or initiatives or goals that you all might be having, drop them in the comments and I'll make sure to read them for everyone before we go. I always leave you all with homework and affirmations. So I'm going to do that now. Your homework is to reflect and to celebrate. So not everyone likes to share their stories or their, milestones online. I understand that. That's totally cool. But I definitely encourage you to do it for yourself, right? So you don't have to share publicly, especially since these things are recorded, right? You might not want to have that record online. It might be something you hold close to your chest. And I commend you for knowing yourself. But in a journal, I'm an advocate for journaling in notebooks. So take time to journal on things that you want to celebrate about yourself or things that you have done or learned, lessons you've learned, right? And then take time to imagine, let yourself envision the best for yourself in the future. Let yourself plan and daydream about where you might go next, right? And that's especially important, again, even during times of struggle, even during times of protests, right? For us to have a clear vision of where we want to go next. I think that's part of what makes us motivated to persist in the struggle, is having a very clear goal of where we want to be, right? And that's a social justice collective struggle. That's a personal individual struggle, journey of healing, right? When you are able to fixate on a direction for yourself, a positive direction for yourself, then that makes it easier to sustain yourself through the journey, through the struggle. And so your affirmation is simply what I've been saying this whole time, is to celebrate yourself, right? Celebrate your body, your hair, your skin color, celebrate your accomplishments, big and small, celebrate the lessons that you've been learning, celebrate your persistence and your resilience, celebrate your teeth, your earrings, celebrate it all. Because trust me, I know that we are more likely to be critical of ourselves than we are to celebrate ourselves, the average person. So I'm pouring it on thick, okay? Let me see. I see Bree Buxton, mixed race mama here, adopted by white parents, now raising 3 beautiful mixed babies with my Swedish husband. All right, so we have a multicolored family, multiracial family. So many families, especially as we, continue to move forward in history, move forward in time as humanity, we're going to see more multicolored families, right? And there are some families that are considered one race that still have different colors, right? So kudos to all of you who are in mixed race families or multicolored families who do the work to understand the other members of your family, right? And doing the work to say, I need to educate myself to be there for my children or my, parents or siblings, and I can be an ally for them. Stephanie Jackson says, yes, notebooks and journals are huge. I know, I just buy them. Celebrate yourself, hashtag. There's some comment here on Instagram I want to read. Okay, no, I think that was it. All right. So if there are no other oh wait, I see one. How are you so confident? Sometimes it's hard to celebrate yourself when you aren't really feeling good about yourself. I admire that about you, friend. Oh, thank you, Ashley. So on Instagram, Ashley's asking, how are you so confident? Sometimes it's hard to celebrate yourself when you aren't really feeling good about yourself. And so I think that I actually played a TED Talk this morning for my mom. And the by Mel Robbins, and she was saying how when we want the most out of life, sometimes we have to do things even when we don't feel like it. So one way to get to a point of confidence is to celebrate yourself even when you're not really feeling it. Even when you don't really feel like you're worth celebrating, even when you feel like you haven't really done much worth celebrating, it's to celebrate that thing anyway. And so it might sound like you're being fake, or you're forcing it, or you're pretending, but you are conditioned to be negative about yourself. And so what you're doing is trying to recondition. You're trying to decondition, reprogram the negative soundtrack with a positive soundtrack. So you have to rewrite that script for yourself. And so for me, like I wasn't born confident. I wasn't born this way, and I still struggle with like negative self-talk. So I do things like listen to positive TED Talks, and I do things like listening to positive podcasts, right? So sometimes my own voice is so troubling, especially in the past. Like, so I've been doing these things for like years. So I would just like have a 10-hour playlist of positive podcasts, or like 124 YouTube videos on positive TED Talks and Iyanla Van Zandt and Oprah and Lisa Nichols, right? And so I would just listen to those for hours, day after day, until I could start to feel it, right? And so doing these things, forcing yourself to listen to the positivity, forcing yourself to write affirmations, forcing yourself to say the affirmations, even if you don't feel it, because then that's how you will become to feel it or come to feel it. So I hope that makes sense. Amanda says, amen. Any good suggestions on positive podcasts? Love, Lisa. Yeah, so Lisa Nichols, and I kind of blur the lines between podcasts and YouTube videos. So Lisa Nichols, I don't know if she has an official podcast, but she definitely has a YouTube series. I do listen to Oprah's Life Class. I listen to Brendan Burchard's High Impact Habits or something like that. I was listening to Tony Robbins for a long time. So a lot of the, big names in like self-help, but there's also an affirmation pod. And I'm not sure, I know for sure that the woman who does affirmation pod is a woman of color, but it's basically a short podcast where she just says affirmations for you. So sometimes they're on a specific topic. And other times, they're usually on a specific topic, like affirmations for courage or affirmations for negative self-talk. And so you can listen to her reciting affirmations, you can replay them and say them along with her. So Affirmation Pod is a very good, tangible, quick, easy thing to consume like day to day. All right, so those who just joined, I am going to log off now, but I saved these on my IGTV and they're saved on my Facebook page. Stephanie Jackson says, fake it until you make it. Repetition is key. Absolutely. So Ashley, if you're still on, repetition is key. Stephanie Jackson on Facebook says affirmation is a must. And finding a tribe like this is a must. That's true too. Like, so surrounding yourself, if you can't reach people in the physical world who are positive, then find the folks online who are positive, right? Who will support you in your journey of affirmations and affirming yourself. And then Stephanie Jackson is co-signing the Lisa Nichols videos. Lisa is the truth. I do love her story. This is so fun. And I'll see y'all next week with my sister, Jandelle. I'm excited to have her co-hosting. Y'all are going to like her. She's funny and very intelligent. Aunt V said she is celebrating still being alive. Absolutely. That we can all celebrate that, right? We can all celebrate still being alive today, to just be here. So with that, I think that's a good one. And Aunt V is my godmother, by the way. So I'm really excited about that. Yay, love y'all. Mwah. Mwah.